everyone, and welcome. So, you're getting ready for your driver's test, huh? Well, knowing how to handle your car when it's raining is absolutely non-negotiable. We're going to break down all the key things you need to know, not just to pass your exam, but, and this is way more important, to keep you safe out there on the road. So, let's dive right in.
So let me just ask you straight up. When the sky opens up and the road gets all slick and shiny, are you really okay? Do you feel totally in control? Or are you kind of just gripping the wheel and hoping for the best? It's a really important question, and you've got to be honest with yourself. Because here's the hard truth. You know the biggest mistake people make in the rain? They drive like it's a perfectly sunny day. And that simple mistake, well, that's what causes accidents. The second water hits the pavement, the physics of driving completely change, and that means your driving has to change too. All right, so let's get into our first section, the basic rules. We're going to start with the simple physics of what's happening on a wet road.
Okay, so the first thing we have to talk about is braking distance, or seidal kyori, as it's known in the Japanese driving manual these rules come from. The key thing to get in your head is just how much this distance increases when the road is wet. That water acts like a lubricant between your tires and the road, and that means your grip is seriously reduced.
And that leads us to the absolute #1 rule you need to know for your test. On a rainy day, it is going to take you longer to stop. Period. The takeaway here couldn't be simpler. You have to start braking way sooner than you think you need to. Okay, moving on to section 2, let's talk about adjusting your speed and your distance from other cars. Honestly, these are your two most powerful tools when the weather gets bad. Just look at the difference here. On a rainy day, everything gets worse. Your tire grip, it's down. Your braking distance, it's way up. So that means your following distance has to get bigger to compensate. A great way to check this is the 4-second rule. Watch the car in front of you pass something, like a signpost. Then you should be able to count 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004 before you pass the same spot. It's not a suggestion, it's just pure physics.
Seriously, if you remember one number from this whole thing for your test, let it be this one. You need to at least double your normal following distance. That space is your safety buffer. It's what's going to save you.
All right, pop quiz time. This is something you could totally see on your exam. So think about it for a sec. It's pouring, but your wipers are going full speed and you can see the road ahead just fine. Is it okay to keep driving at the normal speed limit? True or false?
That is a big, fat false. And here's why. Your windshield wipers, they help you see, for sure. But they do absolutely nothing, zero, to change the fact that the road is wet and slippery. Your tires still have way less grip. Your braking distance is still way too long. Remember, visibility and traction are two completely different problems. So let's be super clear about when you need to ease off the gas. Obviously, in heavy rain. But you also got to think about transitions. Like when you're driving in the rain and you enter a tunnel, that road surface can be suddenly different. Maybe it's oily or unexpectedly dry. That can be a real hazard. And you have to be extra careful driving downhill, because now gravity is working against you, pulling you forward and making it even easier to slip. All right, next up, section 3, visibility and safety signals. The whole game here is simple. You need to see and you need to be seen.
Let's walk through a couple of super common scenarios. The second it starts to rain, I don't care if it's the middle of the day. Turn your headlights on. It just makes you so much more visible to other drivers against that gray, rainy background. Now, what if the rain gets so heavy you can barely see? The right move is to turn on your hazard lights and slow down. This screams danger ahead to the cars behind you.
Okay, now we're getting into the really hazardous stuff. Puddles, pedestrians, and floods. Let's talk about how to handle these specific dangers. So let's start with a really scary one, hydroplaning. This is what happens when you're going too fast and your tires can't push the water out of their way quickly enough. Instead of gripping the pavement, your car literally starts to float on top of the water. It's like you're on water skis, and that's not where you want to be. This is a trap you have to avoid at all costs. It happens when you hit a big puddle too fast. All of a sudden, the car feels light. You turn the steering wheel, nothing happens. You hit the brakes, nothing happens. You are no longer driving the car. You're just a passenger. The only way to deal with hydroplaning is to prevent it. That means slowing down before you hit that standing water. And there are two other big hazards to keep in mind. First, pedestrians. You know how it is. Their heads are down, they're hiding under umbrellas, their hoods are up. They can't see you coming. So you have to be extra vigilant around crosswalks. And second, flooded roads. The rule here is so simple. If you can't see the bottom, do not drive through it.
It only takes a few inches of water to stall your engine and not much more to sweep your entire car away. Just turn around. It is always the safer choice.
All right, let's bring it all home with our final section, the safe driving mindset. Think of this as your final review before the big test. If you can just remember these 4 things, you'll be in great shape. Number 1, brake early. Number 2, keep that extra following distance. Double it. Number 3, always be aware of what's happening around you. Cars, people, the road itself. And finally, number 4, anticipate danger. Always be thinking, what if? What if that car slams on its brakes? What if someone steps off that curb? That defensive mindset, that's what separates a good driver from a great one. And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. Passing your test is great. It's a huge milestone. But the real test happens every single day out on the road. So ask yourself this. When it's pouring rain and you've got your friends or your family in the car with you, are you driving in a way that makes them feel safe? That right there is the ultimate goal. Good luck on your test.